Hello, and welcome back to another Chris McPherson Show, Cricket Daily for the 28th of March. And this episode is going to be very much tailored into previewing the biggest T20 league in the world, IPL 2026, in its 19th edition. 10 teams, 74 games, a stack of superstars, and plenty of storylines to unpick. We're going to break down the big narratives to come, the title contenders, the X factors to watch, and our predictions for the tournament, and we cannot wait. If you love your cricket content, then of course, make sure to hit like on the video, hit subscribe on the channel, and get involved. And you can follow along on our social media channels as well at The Chris Mack Show. Facebook, X, TikTok, and Instagram is where you'll find us. We look forward to seeing you there for your sports, shorts, and snippets. But let's rip right into the IPL 2026 season preview. It's rolling into its 19th edition, 10 teams, 74 matches, with the final set for May 31st. A huge runway of 2 months of cricket, and we cannot wait. Squads are now fully settled post a mega auction cycle. Teams are no longer looking to experiment. This is peak optimization and gearing up for a title fight. The IPL continues its place at the pinnacle of global T20 cricket, and it's the league that continues to drive India's dominance in the white ball cricket world. This is going to be the most competitive edition of the most competitive franchise competition in the world. There'll be no easy games, and teams know they have to be up for it each and every night. Speaking of the biggest storylines, the big one. Can RCB go back to back? The defending champions, Royal Challengers Bengaluru, they won their first title in 2025 after a long, long wait. The Monkeys now off their back. Expectation shifts. The pressure changes. The big issues for them, though, is the injury cloud over Josh Hazlewood. Him not at full fitness is a blight on their chances. They do have that reliance on a couple of key experienced quicks, and injuries to them or unavailability is going to severely hamper their opportunities. And then, of course, Virat Kohli. How does he play? His fitness will still be a watch. Does he unleash now that he's won a title for the first time? He's been there that whole editions of the IPL. And can he look to help steer this team back to back? Will we see the explosive, freewheeling Virat that we know and love to watch? Or will it be the pressurised, the unsure and the uncertain if he's not at full fitness? Back-to-back titles are rare. Only Mumbai Indians and Chennai Super Kings have done it before. But Royal Challengers Bengaluru will undoubtedly love to shirk that piece of history. In terms of the other sides in the tournament as well, the old powers, well, they're reloading. Those two teams I just touched on, the Chennai Super Kings, they are in full rebuild mode and looking to rocket their way back to the top of the IPL, while the Mumbai Indians look absolutely stacked to the gills with their squad, and it really feels like a return of the Giants type of year in 2026. There's been an evolution in the IPL too, as two franchises went under the hammer and sold in the off-season, just showing how valuable the IPL is. RCB sold for $1.78 billion, while Rajasthan went for $1.63. That is no chump change, no mere pocket money being thrown around. And it shows that the IPL is now an absolute global sports business powerhouse and will continue to evolve and grow with its spot at the top of world cricket. Another key area in the IPL is the Aussie influence. As always, there's an absolute plethora of Aussies headlined by Pat Cummins, who won't start the IPL but is expected to be back in the back half with injury, Mitchell Starc, Cameron Green, and Travis Head. There's plenty of other Aussies as well plying their trade, but these are some of the headlines, and their availability and form can be massive swing factors when it looks at some of their teams, especially Cameron Green when we think about him and what his recent form has been. These guys are getting big pay packets and will certainly be expected to put in some big performances for their sides. One thing that is for sure is that the IPL will, unlike the PSL, rely purely on power hitting. Flat decks, short boundaries, this will be high-scoring chaos. Expect 200-plus scores regularly. There's talk that maybe, just maybe, some sides might even knock on the door of 300, which is a wild thing to think of when you have a look at the scores from the early days of the IPL. 6 hitting contests will be deciding games on the regular throughout this edition of the IPL. Keep an eye out for those explosive power hitters. If they can do it consistently, their teams will charge to the top of the IPL ladder. Well, now let's talk about the teams, and let's break these down into a couple of tiers. We'll start with the playoff contenders, and one for me is Royal Challengers Bengaluru. The defending champions, They've got batting depth. They've got experience. They know how tournaments are won. They did it last year. But as we touched on before, their bowling depth can be a little bit fragile, and they've got a huge reliance on Josh Hazlewood. I think this side can certainly go deep towards the playoffs, but their risk profile, it's fair to say, is high when it comes to reliance on key players and their injury, fitness, and form. Sunrisers Hyderabad, absolute batting powerhouse this side. You have a look at the core of players that they've got together. Travis Head, Abhishek Sharma, and Ishan Kishan. The chink in their armour, though, the bowling depth. This is going to be an interesting one for how they manage to roll their bowlers out and make sure things are on top. Cummins, if he's healthy, that will go a long way to adding to that. But again, it's a big gap and a big if. These side could absolutely blow teams away with the bat, or they could collapse as well. If their batters don't fire, and we've seen this happen before, they could find themselves in real trouble early in this tournament. The Gujarat Titans, well, they're structured, they're consistent, they've got strong bowling with Rashid Khan, they've got quality in their top order, but you would expect that they will be over-reliant on their top three. If the top three can fire, they'll certainly be dangerous. If they don't, you feel that they might just go by the wayside. The next group I'm going to look at is the sides that I think it's fair to say maybe have some question marks on them. Let's start with the Chennai Super Kings. They're certainly on the rebuild path, and bringing in Sanju Samson is certainly a good asset to have. He's a batting boost. He's going to be strong for them. They're big chinks, bowling depth, and that transition phase. Can they explode at the tail end? Can they get it done through those middle overs? That's a big question. It feels like a mid-table ceiling, maybe knocking on the door of playoffs, but probably falling just short. The Delhi Capitals, well, they're talented, but they're inconsistent. Their strength is the spin combination. Akshar Patel, Kuldeep Yadav, obviously top-tier, world-class spinners there, but their weakness will probably be their top-order aggression. The mentality behind it is going to be their big piece. If they can get that down pat, again, a little like Chennai, they can knock on the door of playoffs, but whether they can get in or not is going to be the question. Lucknow Super Giants are next up. They've got chaos, but plenty of talent. Batting firepower with the likes of Rishabh Pant, Nicholas Puran, could be absolutely anything if those guys can fire. But that's the big if. You throw in an injury-prone bowling group and you start to ask some questions, and it's really hard to trust these guys across a full 2-month season. Rajasthan Royals, well, they've got youth and they've got upside. They've got some young stars in there. Names to watch, Yashavi Jaiswal and Vaibhav Suryavanshi. Two of the biggest names, two of the biggest emerging stars in Indian cricket, but they're going to have a lot of weight on their young shoulders. Their weakness is the bowling consistency. I think watch them. They can upset anyone on their day, but I just don't know if they're going to be there yet. And last but not least, let's talk about our title contenders. Let's start with the Mumbai Indians, an absolute powerhouse squad. Hardik Pandya, Jasprit Bumrah, Surya Kumar Yadav, and Rohit Sharma. Four of India's best. Elite batting depth, a world-class pace attack. Probably the only gap, a lack of really elite spin. If Bumrah stays fit and healthy and strikes, these guys are absolutely going to be the team to beat. The Punjab Kings, the 2025 runners-up and continuing to build. They've got an explosive batting core led by Shreyas Iyer. The mercurial Marcus Stoinis is in there as well. Plenty of bowling variety, a nicely balanced squad. They're going to be a title contender again like they were last year, but do they have the class to go that extra step? Last but not least, we talk KKR, the Kolkata Knight Riders, a team with plenty of upside, elite spin which can be key on these flat decks. Sunil Narine and Varun Chakravarthi. They've got huge batting power, but the big watch for me with this side is Cameron Green and his impact. If he can find some form and do well with the bat, but also with the ball, they're going to need that for their pace attack. Then they will certainly go a long way towards charging up this ladder. If he doesn't fire, though, it could find them with a real hole in that middle order and some question marks to be asked about them. Certainly a value contender. They can be there if all things fire, but they could also slide out of the playoffs if things don't click in the way they are hoping. Let's move on to talking about some of those X-factor players, the key players, and we've touched on Cameron Green there. He will obviously be quite key for KKR. He has to hit his form. If we can see the best of it, if we can see exactly the reasons that they have paid the big money they have to bring him over to Kolkata, well, he could be the player of the tournament in terms of contention. A player who will vie for that title will be Jasprit Bumrah. He is the best bowler in T20 World Cricket for mine. explosive, dynamic, can strike at the top, can close it out in the death overs, can also tighten things up in the middle if he's needed. He's an absolute weapon. He's got so much variety, so much ability, and Mumbai Indians will rely heavily on him. Shreyas Iyer, he's going to be a key. He'll be an elite leader for the Punjab Kings. What he can deliver here with the bat can almost be unmatched by others. At his best, he's absolutely damaging. At his worst, he's still a solid player. That's it. A high ceiling, a fairly reasonably high floor as well. That's exactly what you want from your top players and your leaders. Rashid Khan, he'll be a key for Gujarat Titans. We know he's a world-class spinner. He's so tough to pick. He ties down those middle overs and is really hard to get away. If teams can get on top of Rashid, Gujarat could be in trouble. But if Rashid continues to weave his magic, he'll go a long way to trying to push them towards the cusp and edge of the playoffs. And last but not least, Travis Head rolling out for Sunrisers Hyderabad. This man can take a game away from you in the blink of an eye with the bat. He can bowl some handy part-time spin as well, but it's that explosive power hitting that's going to get bums on seats and send the fans wild at Sunrisers. Keep an eye on him. He'll win games off his own back. He won't lose them for you, but he's going to need some help if Sunrisers are going to be in the mix. In terms of my playoffs, the predictions, well, I've got Mumbai Indians, the Punjab Kings, Kolkata Knight Riders, and Royal Challengers Bengaluru making up the playoffs. Certainly 4 teams with plenty of reasons to back them, plenty of class, plenty of quality, plenty of depth, and I think they'll be the 4 that get there at the end of it all to head into the playoffs. The winner for mine will be the Mumbai Indians. They just got too much depth, too much firepower, and too much experience. They're absolutely stacked to the gills with all of talent. They've got areas of key, pace bowling, batting, middle order batting depth as well. Spin might be a bit of a gap in their armour, but I think they've got enough to cover it. In terms of my individual picks for the award winners, if you will, the leaders in each of the key categories, the most runs, Shreyas Iyer. I just think he's so classy. He's going to do such a key role and lead the way for Punjab Kings. And I've got them finishing a fair way up the order here. So I think Iyer will be a key part of that. Speaking of teams finishing a long way up the order, the most wickets, I can't go past Jasprit Bumrah. Absolutely, as I talked there, I wax lyrically about the man. He's an absolute star and can do no wrong. He's got all the assets you need, and we've seen that time and time again, and he performs in the pressure cooker that is the IPL. A little interesting one, if you're looking to have a wager, most sixes, the Punjab Kings, absolutely stacked with hitters. I love what this batting lineup offers, so have a look at them for most sixes, worth a little snip. Well, this is shaping as one of the most open IPL competitions in years. There's no clear runaway favourites, despite me having the asterisk next to Mumbai. There's multiple teams capable of winning it all and teams capable of sliding anywhere from 3rd to 10th and emerging from 10th to the top 4 as well. That's what makes the IPL the best product in world cricket. Everyone has to turn up every day and perform to make sure they get to the business end. Drop your predictions in the comments. Who takes out the IPL? Who's going to be the leading wicket taker and the leading run scorer? Make sure to like the video, subscribe to the channel, and follow along for plenty more cricket content throughout the IPL and PSLs. We look forward to seeing you next time here on your home of the black and white of sport, no grey opinions, the Chris McPherson Show.